With WrestleMania only a few months away, I thought it would be fun to go in and predict the entire match card. Now, I don't think it needs to be stated, but it is a really good chance that none of these matches are actually on the card. Maybe some of them are, but I am going to assume almost none of them are. So that's why I thought this would be kind of fun. It's just maybe come Mania season, I might be able to go back and just look at my predictions and see how close I was or how far off I was, but I basically just used what was going on in today's storylines and stuff like that that really kind of helped me just put together a good couple of matches. Now I'm going to be following last year's formula in terms of there only being 13 matches on the I only made 13 match predictions, but I think they are going to be pretty good match predictions here. And I don't think this also has to be stated, but there is going to be some names that are left off this list. Unfortunately, I could not get to every single person. I will go back and list some of the names I left off at the end of the video because obviously I don't really want to spoil it right now. So let's get into it. I will be starting with the matches that will not be for a championship, but just regular matches. And what better place to start than Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. Now, this one's a leap, this one's a stretch, but hear me out. I think that this match could easily happen with the ongoing storyline between Bianca Belair and Naomi being the tag champs and Naomi stealing Jade Cargill's title. Jade is a heel, and I think that's exactly what they should have her do. I think heel Jade might be really fun and really cool. I mean, people are thinking that it's probably Naomi that just took out Jade, and it's more than likely that's probably what happened. It probably was Naomi, and people are thinking maybe Naomi goes heel, but I think Jade should come back as even a worser heel than Naomi is supposed to be. I think that would be really fun. I mean, I think right now we're supposed to get the idea of Naomi was just jealous of Jade and she wanted to be in the spotlight again, so she took Jade out and took her place. But I think it would be even better if Jade came back with a lot of vengeance in mind. You know, I think Jade should have a match with Naomi prior to this one, but the thing that will set this match up is the fact that Bianca actually defends Naomi, and this is what pushes Jade over the edge, is that Bianca was siding with Jade before she got injured, but now that came back from this injury, she's now siding with Naomi and not really caring about Jade's opinion or anything like that. She's not going to give the tag titles back to Jade. I think this might be causing a real big divide between the two of them, and I think this is a perfect match for WrestleMania. Now, talking about stretches again, I have another match that I think would be a really big stretch, but I think it really needs to happen. And I think this is where Finn gets his mojo back. I think this is where Finn starts to take off again and become the Finn we all knew and remember and are missing right now. I think Finn needs to get a really good win under his belt, and I think facing Dom might be a really good chance. Really good chance for him to just kind of take off again. I think this might be able to start a really good singles run for him. Right now, between them, there is a lot of tension in Judgment Day. People not trusting Dom, people not trusting Finn. Just a lot of tension their titles and stuff like that. So I think this would be really good if they were able to kind of like set this up for Mania and let it be like a feud that's kind of on the boiling up to just be ready to take off come Mania season. I think this would be a really good way, in having Dom maybe start his own singles run as well if you have him win, which I kind of don't think he should. I think Finn should get the win on this one, but that's for another day. I really do believe that this feud between the two of them really would set them both up for bigger things to come. Now, I don't think this one's a stretch at all. I think Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch might be a really good match, because this could be a blood feud between the two of them, where Becky wants revenge on Liv because Liv kept saying that she had retired Becky and all this stuff. I think this feud could really help set up Liv Morgan as a main eventer. You know, I really think this could. I don't know if Liv Morgan should win per se, because needs a win, but truthfully, I think this win could go either way, honestly. I don't think either one of them really would get hurt that badly from losing this one. So, truthfully, I think this is just overall a really good match. Maybe you want Liv to finally win a feud in a sense. Maybe she wins the Becky Lynch feud. I have no idea, because she couldn't win the Rhea feud, and that has a lot of people angry, but it is what it is. And again, this one, I really just believe that this could be a great woman's blood feud, you know? Rhea and Liv were supposed to be that. Rhea and Liv was supposed to be the best feud of all time. In my opinion, it was shaping up to be that way. It had a really good chance to be that. And then it was an ultimate letdown. That feud let down so many people, but I think this feud could probably make up for that, and I think this is one that they really should go with. I don't think it's a leap. I don't think it's a stretch. Whenever Becky comes back, I bet you Liv's gonna go salt in the wounds. This might be a perfect opportunity for them to just take off with it. Now, this one's kind of just a fun match. I couldn't really come up with anything because I wanted Jimmy, Jay, and Sammy to all have a Mania match, but I didn't really know how. But I also wanted Jacob Fatu to have a Mania match. So I kind of just came up with a bloodline street fight. So basically kind of like tribal combat, but in a sense it's not really. I mean, this is kind of just for bragging right purposes, I guess you could say. There's nothing really to it. I mean, this is just kind of like what the Street Profits versus the Karrion Kross and the Final Testament was last year at Mania. This is kind of the same thing, I want to say. And this is just to put their feud to sleep once and for all. It's all done now. You know, they come back together for a final blowout battle, and we'll get into another one later, but right now I think this would really just fun match, you know, make up for the matches that they had last year, even though Sammy doesn't really need it, but Jay and Jimmy definitely do need a make-up match because last year's match was pretty damn awful. And now this would obviously be Fatu, Tonga, and Tonga Loa's first WrestleMania, so I feel like this is a perfect way to kind of introduce them into the Mania scene, you know? Now this one I don't think is a stretch at all, but the only problem is that they're seemingly already kind of throwing this feud out there, where this is probably a feud that needs another month or two before you start actually ramping it up a bit. But they already are kind of ramping it up, which kind of sucks because I was hoping that this match would happen at WrestleMania. I think this match between Seth, Punk, and McIntyre needs to be a no DQ match. I think this should be easily just a street fight as well, you know? Let the three of them beat the hell out of each other with stuff. You know, let it be a brutal match. I think this match definitely could have 30 minutes on the card. I really do think these three could just put on an absolute show and clinic. This would be kind of like this last one where it's just for bragging rights purposes. There's nothing behind it, but to just kind of put each other all behind themselves, you know? Kind of like how CM Punk just wanted to get behind Drew. Initially, how CM Punk wanted to get behind Seth. But now it's just all accumulated into this one big match. And it's just to put who is the best one out of all three of them, you know? It's kind of for bragging rights again. Who is the best one? And CM Punk, as he claims, the best in the world, we'll have to see. But I think this match really would be a fun match that just would kind of steal the show. This could easily be a main event or an opening match. I'm probably leaning towards this being more of an opening match on Saturday or Sunday night, or Saturday, so yeah. But I really do believe this match could just steal the show. All three of them good chemistry together. I think they really would just do great together. This is another fun match. This is tribal combat. This is for all the marbles, you know. Now here's the thing: is I almost forgot to put Solo even on the card, and so initially this was Rock versus Roman, just tribal combat. But then I was like, you know what? Let me add Solo into the mix, because Solo could be another fun character that the two of them just put moves on, you know? Another guy who just takes a beating basically throughout this match. It doesn't just have to be Rock and Roman, because Solo is involved in the storyline just as much as the Rock and Roman are. You know, Rock and Solo just had tribal combat on Raw Netflix's debut. Why not just add him into the mix, you know? Again, a lot of people just want to see Rock versus Roman, and I get that, but at the same time, I didn't really want to leave Solo off the Mania card. You could easily put him in the Uso, Sami Zayn, and replace him with maybe Tonga Loa. But I don't know. And maybe that's the play if Tonga Loa is not healthy yet. And honestly, that might be even better. If Tonga Loa is not healthy yet, then I would probably move Solo over there. Okay, ultimately it comes down to whether or not Tonga Loa is healthy. And if he isn't healthy, then I would remove Solo and put him in that street fight. 100%. Then this would be Rock versus Roman, tribal combat, one-on-one. And I think this is a dream match that everyone's been wanting to see. Everyone has been praying for this match to finally happen, and I think it happens here. Now we are getting into our championship matches, where this is going to be a women's tag team match where Nia Jax and Candice LeRae, the champions, will face Bayley and Naomi. Now, this is basically just to get people like Bayley, Naomi, and Nia Jax on the Mania card. Because as I said, there is so much good talent, but so little spots. So I kind of just needed a way to put everybody on the card that kind of made sense. And I think it would make sense if Nia Jax and Candice LeRae took the titles off of Naomi and Bianca Belair, so then Belair can focus on Cargill, and then Naomi thinks Cargill's in the past, so she's able to just go off and do things with Bayley now. Now the only problem is that Bayley just transferred to Monday Night Raw, but I don't really think that will be too big of a deal, because honestly, these tag team titles were going between Raw and SmackDown so often, so I could easily see Naomi just coming over to Raw asking Bayley to be her partner again. I could easily see that happening, because right now I think Bayley's entering the Rhea, Nia Jax, and like world title picture right now, so they're trying to give Rhea another credible opponent, which is fair. I could understand that. They're trying to get her title reign off to a better start. So but after that feud concludes, I really do believe that this might be the pick, because after I want to say Bayley's match might happen come Elimination Chamber or something like that, and so if that's the case, Bayley needs something to do going up to Mania. This is a perfect time. Start feuding with the Candice and Nia Jax. Unfortunately, same thing with Nia Jax. She just moved to Raw as well, it seems, and she's not really with Candice anymore. But I think that could easily be fixed, because Candice sees an opportunity with Nia, and they take the tag titles off of Bianca and Naomi while they're distracted with Jade, and maybe Jade comes out and costs them the titles. That might be a really cool way to set up this match as well. So we would just have to see, but I really do believe that this might just be a fun tag match that could just, I don't know, squeeze its way onto the card. Now, with this match, this was honestly just for Rey Mysterio and Penta to actually get on the card. I really did not want to put the War Raiders on the card, but I couldn't find anyone better, to be honest with you, because it's like they're the only ones in the tag division, and I wanted Rey Mysterio and Penta to team up for once. So I think Rey and Penta going for the tag titles on the Monday Night Raw side of things, it starts bolstering the Raw tag team division a little bit that actually needs the help. SmackDown doesn't really need this help right now. SmackDown's tag division is pretty solid right now. But the Raw side of things, they have been plagued by the Judgment Day's reign, and now War Raiders haven't even had a title defense since taking it off of them. They really haven't been seen outside of helping Priest in stupid ass ways. Don't even get me started. I don't know why War Raiders are just seemingly helping Priest every chance they get, but that's beside the point. This, I really do believe, would be an awesome just match for Rey and Penta to just kind of start getting it over. Obviously, it's probably going to be hard for Rey and Penta to do their moves against the War Raiders, but I don't know, it might be a fun way of just putting two luchadors over. Even though Rey obviously is a Hall of Famer, he doesn't even need it, and Penta, I'm assuming, is probably close to being one himself. But again, it's just a way to bolster the Raw tag division a little bit and have another fun match out there. And maybe you add another two tag teams into this, making it a fatal four-way tag match. I don't know what you want to do, but there just needs to be a men's tag team match, and I thought this might be a fun one to have on the card. Now, unfortunately, I want this feud between Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and Kaiser to wrap up, and I have no idea if it will come Saturday night's main event. But if it doesn't and Breaker is still the champion, I really do feel like this would be a perfect match to maybe include Damian Priest in, because Priest needs something to do, and I don't really want him in the world title picture, so bringing him back down to the mid-card title picture probably is the right move. I don't think he's particularly ready for the main event scene yet, and yes, he was just in a solid job, I want to say, over the summer, but I don't know, man. I'm just not interested in Priest as that much. I think what made Priest was interesting was all the Judgment Day drama in the back, and the fact that Priest had to juggle being a champion and juggle that. I thought that was a pretty interesting storyline, but Priest is no longer in the Judgment Day, so I don't really think Priest is going to be all that interesting with the title or in that title picture. So involving him in this might help kind of get him back up again. So I don't know. I think if Breakker retains at Saturday Night's main event, I think Breakker loses it here at Mania, and I think the two favorites are Sheamus and Damian Priest. I think Sheamus wins to become the Grand Slam champion, and I think Priest wins just because he's Damian Priest. I mean, there's no other way to put it. I would love for Ludwig Kaiser to win this, but I think Kaiser is hands down the favorite to get the pin or to lose just in general. So I think Kaiser stands he stands probably as the biggest weak link in this entire match. But that might set up a really cool storyline where he just is a sneaky guy who gets the sneaky win. Who knows? But I just don't see them doing that with them. Either way, I think this would be a fun Intercontinental Championship match and the first singles title match on the Mania card that we have covered now. Now we are on to the world title picture, and the first match is Rhea Ripley defends against Io Sky. This is obviously a dream match that a lot of people have been asking for. Now, the only problem and thing that I think a lot of people need to take into consideration is how can Io Sky help carry this feud a little bit. You know, Rhea I don't think will be that big of a problem with carrying this feud. I think she will do just fine, but the only problem is Rhea kind of relies on having someone who's also pretty competent in carrying the feud as well, and that's the other. I don't know if Io Sky can carry feuds on the mic. Rhea I don't think is the greatest at it, and I don't think Io is obviously that good at it either. So we'll just have to see when it comes to that. But I think in-ring talent-wise, you got two of the best in the entire women's roster going at it. I think this would just be a fun women's world championship match that I think people would love to see. With the men's side of things, hear me out. I think having Gunther defend against John Cena and Logan Paul would be a really, really fun match because Logan Paul can take so many spots here. I think Logan Paul is kind of the guy that they beat up on the entire match, kind of like how he was beat up on by Kevin Owens and Randy Orton last year. But this time I don't think he actually takes I think takes the pin. I don't think he wins this match at all. This is not for him to win. This is purely having Logan Paul weasel his world title match. I think this is the best case scenario here because I really believe Logan Paul would be able to weasel his way into having a world title match against Gunther, even though John Cena has already won the match to get here. I don't think Cena wins the Royal Rumble. I think Cena wins Elimination Chamber. But either way, he gets his world title match against Gunther. And here I think Logan Paul would be a perfect person to make this into a triple threat match and let Logan Paul just weasel his way into this match where he has no business being involved in this match, but he still gets in and he still puts on an amazing show. I really do believe that Logan Paul is one of the best in-ring workers they have, and I think he will be able to take a ton of these spots from Gunther and Cena, and in allowing Cena to kind of look good again, you know. I'm not saying he probably won't look good in the Rumble or at the Elimination Chamber, but just allow some fun again, you know. And this is a great way to put Logan Paul over even more with the crowd, put him on a bigger stage. I think this would be a great way to just have John Cena win his final title. I think Cena pins Logan and he wins his 17th title. I think this is a perfect way to do it. And it protects Gunther in the process. Now onto the women's WWE Championship match between Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair. This is another one that people want to see. Same thing as the women. I didn't really like go all out with these two because these two I want to see them as well. I have no problem with these two being the women's matches come Mania season. I think Charlotte Flair would put Tiffany over just like she put Rhea over. And there's an argument to be made that maybe Charlotte should actually win this, so then Tiffany can face some adversity being like in the world title picture. I think Tiffany might win it back come like maybe SummerSlam or something like that. But I think this might be a really cool way to just put Tiffany in the world title picture, scene that maybe she hasn't really been a part of before. You know, put her against one of the best, if not the best, woman of all time in WWE, in Charlotte Flair, and have Charlotte put her over and help her out a little bit. I think this would be a great way to just see what Tiffany is made of. You know, we have already seen a little bit of what she's made of, but maybe this will help bring out the best in Tiffany if Charlotte Flair maybe wins it from her come Mania. And last but not least, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for both the men's world title pictures being a triple threat match, but I think this is the right route to go, and I think having it be between Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens is the great way to just have a fun feud, blood feud match between the three former best friends. I think when Randy returns, I think there needs to be something that just makes him be like, oh my god, Kevin was right, but I still hate Kevin because he pile drived me. I to see this because this would just be such a fun match. It might allow Randy to finally win his world title again, or Kevin Owens to finally win his world title. I don't think Cody retains here. I think Cody loses, but I don't know if you have Cody take the pin, for instance. I think maybe you have either Randy or Kevin take the pin, but I don't think Cody loses. I think Cody kind of wins. I think Cody stays protected in this match, and that's the thing about these triple threat matches, is that it allows the champion or whoever you want it to be to stay protected. And maybe you have Cody take the pin. I have no idea. I think having Cody take the pin is maybe not as bad of an idea as having Gunther take the pin in his match, but either way, I really do feel like this would just be another fun match that people are always thinking that, well, the world title matches need to be just a one-on-one match. Why? Why do they need to be that? Let them be a triple threat match, because this allows more talent to be on the card, one, but two, it allows for deep storylines, I feel like, that won't get too out of control, but at the same time will add a little bit of messiness that'll just make it a fun mess come Mania, and I think this is a great route for them to go in. Now, I said it earlier, I left a lot of names off this list, and believe me, there was a lot of names I wanted to put on the list, or on this card, but given the fact that there are just so much good talent, I had to keep some of the names off the list. People like LA Knight was not on the list, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Shinsuke Nakamura. I know people probably aren't going to complain about that one, but The Miz, for instance, Wyatt Six, Alexa Bliss. I mean, I know a lot of her plans for her to return just got scrapped. Hopefully that doesn't mean anything bad, but hopefully she just still comes back. But people like her had to be left off this list because it is so hard to predict something that hasn't even come to light yet. You know, you have no feuding with, because it's like, if she was going to be involved with the Wyatt Six, then I don't even have the Wyatt Six on the card, so I couldn't really involve her on the card. But it's the same thing. It's like, you really had to watch out with people that you put on the card and who you don't put on the card. LA Knight, I think, is the biggest name I've left off the card, and unfortunately, I couldn't really find a place for him because I left the United States title off the entire card because I just needed space for other things. I wanted to make sure the women got enough matches on this card, because I know that's been a constant complaint that the women don't get enough matches. So I wanted to make sure they did, and truthfully, I still think I might have chipped a lot of them, but I think I didn't leave as many big name women off the list as I left men. Yes, Lyra Valkyria, Dakota Kai, Raquel have all been left off the list, and Alexa Bliss, but most of the bigger upper echelon names are on the list, and that's why I wanted to fun video about it. If you were able to come up with a better match that maybe I didn't even think of and put it on the card other than a different match or something like that, please share it down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say, because again, this is a very subjective list of matches that I just thought might be fun matches. Some of them having a lot more to do with others. Making this match, when I was making this video, I had to change some of my matches because I thought about it, and a lot of them didn't even make sense when I made them. I just was kind of just going about having fun, and that was another problem, is that some of these matches have to be more realistic. And so I went back and tried to make them a little bit more realistic, and I think I did a pretty good job at it. I would love to hear what you guys have to say, as I said. And until next time, see ya.